Hey guys, welcome back. Um, I wanted to talk to you tonight about the narcissist and why they lie so much. So, it's my humble opinion that the reason that the narcissist lies, and the lies are so hurtful because usually they're twists. It's a half truth. It's a twisting of the truth. And so an example would be you bake a cake for your narcissist because you're a nice person. It's what nice people do. And you are still in the phase where you're trying to get their affection. You still think it's possible to get the um, affection, the love from your narcissistic mother or father. So you keep trying, poor thing. You keep trying to do nice things because you can't understand why they reject you the way that they do. So you think that it's because there's a misunderstanding, but it's not. They don't love you because they don't know how to love. And they don't tell the truth and they lie because they can't handle reality. In reality, they are cruel, heartless, they lack compassion, they're vicious, they're liars, they go for the throat, they're sneaky, they are envious, super envious, and it doesn't have to be just of material things. No, they are very envious of your charisma, of your beauty, of your figure. They're very superficial too, can be. But they're also envious of your good qualities. Like if they're stingy, they're jealous that you are free with your money. They don't understand. They don't understand good qualities. They think that you're faking. And they keep looking at you. My mom told me this one time, and I didn't have the decoder ring. I need to make a video on the decoder ring. Decoder ring is how you understand what's going on. Because when you use the decoder ring, you can go back and look at old conversations and then go, that's what was happening there. So, my mom, whenever she would try to crush us, my sister and I, in a certain way, she would say something to us about how she was defending us against another person who accused us of being ugly or fat, of being frumpy, of being fake. I'll use the fake example. So my mom came to me one time and she's like, I don't know what's wrong with your cousin. She came up to me and was just like, she was just telling me how she was looking at you and she says, you know what, Vanessa has to be faking because nobody is that nice. So, yeah, so she's a faker. Because there's no way that somebody can be that nice. Like she's just so pleasant to be around. Like, what a liar. What a fake. And so my mom came and said that to me. And I was like, what? Like, she's talking about my cousin I haven't even seen. And since I was still in the phase where I believed my mom and I thought that my mom was a truthful, God-fearing woman, I got my feelings hurt. And I said, why is my cousin talking about me like that? Like, why did she say that? And then my mom would say, well, I defended you. And I just said, well, she's wrong. Because I don't like people talking bad about you like that. I just thought that was terrible. Shame on her. But I bet you right now, I don't talk to that cousin, but now knowing my mom and knowing how she does things, I guarantee if I go back and ask that cousin, like, hey, why did you say that about me? She'd be like, what the heck are you talking about? I wasn't even talking about you. And that's just how they operate. So I use that as an example because the narcissist lies and they twist the lies and then they're hurtful lies because Sorry, I have boys. They're crazy. But if they're hurtful lies, and they hurt because they're half-truths. And so you might do something nice, and then someone will take that nice thing that you did and twist it and call it bad. And again, this is why I say that without a shadow of a doubt, narcissists are evil. They're not poor, chemically imbalanced people. They're evil. Because it's very hurtful when you do something nice. If you go and you bake a cake for somebody and then they accuse you of, for example, if you go and make a cake for your mom because you're desperate for her attention and her affection and her approval, and so you make her a cake, and then she says, "You knew I was on a diet. How mean, how mean are you that you knowingly made me this cake just to make me mess up my diet?" And she'll be so offended. And you'd be like, "I didn't even know she was on a diet." And the reason you didn't know she was on a diet because she's not on a diet, And if you say, "Well, I saw you last night eating," "You're always watching me. Why are you always criticizing me?" And so even if you catch her in that lie, like she's not really on a diet, she just wants to make you feel bad. You did something nice, and instead of getting nice back, getting a hug or a thank you or that was sweet or oh my gosh, here, let's eat together. Instead of getting that back, because that's what a normal person would do, the narcissist has to come back and turn that good thing into something bad. And so you wonder why they lie so much. You wonder why they twist things. You wonder why they're constantly accusing you of things that you're not doing and giving bad attributes to something that was a positive thing. Well, the reason for that is that I believe that that's their job. So some people in the world, lots of people, have different callings. And so you might be called to devote your time, to be, I was always very much always admired people who take time out of their day to go out and feed the homeless, to go out and take time out of their day to go to these organized charitable groups. And some people do that. Other people are always offering an ear to people who are suffering. Other people are very free with their money. Other people make people laugh. So everybody has like their calling and what they are good at, and they have their role in the universe. I don't mean it like in a hippie way. I mean like everybody, we're all connected. That does sound hippie. Spiritually, we're all connected. That is even more hippie. I don't mean it in a hippie way. I mean it in that you're born and you have a purpose. And so if you are a child of God, your purpose is going to be a positive one. It's going to be to encourage. It's going to be to love. It's going to be to share, to do something, to build up. But these narcissists are loaded up with negativity, with evil, with wicked desires. And so their job is to poison every single room that they're in. They have no joy. So they can amuse themselves, but they don't have joy. Like when you look at a child and you play with them, or there's joy. You have your dog and you just grab them and you hug them and you play, and there's joy. They don't have that. So they can only amuse themselves. So they're very empty and very sad. And the only thing that they can do is go around and spread that ugliness. So just kind of like picture him like a stinky kid. Like Charlie Brown had one of his friends who had like the aura around him of stinky. Just picture them like that. And they want to touch everything. And so when you're dirty and your hands are dirty and you go touch something and you touch the door, you spread your germs. Or you are sick and you cough on people, you spread that infection. So these sad, sad people Unfortunately, their assignment is to spread the infection of hate, the infection of envy, the infection of hot, cold, of emotionally torturing people and training their children to be abusive spouses and abusive parents. That is their role. So you need to look to yourself, you need to look to God, and you need to look to yourself for validation. You're never going to get that from your narcissist. And the reason that they twist, because they're, if you notice, all their lies are twists of the truth. So if you go back to that script example that I gave you, where everything that they're doing is sort of in a script, and they're playing a role, and they're just dramatic actresses. They're the stars of their own telenovela, very over the top. And so if you think of it like that, the reason that their lies are not completely out of the blue, they're twisting of the truth, I believe, is because they are children of darkness. And you and I and healthy, normal people who love people, we're children of God. And the children of God, our Father in heaven is a creator. He creates. So you have artists that create. That's why human beings can create things. They can think. They can create physical things, or they can think of ideas. Creativity is beautiful. It really is beautiful because it helps people in all kinds of ways. But the narcissist can't create anything. I think that's part of their envy too. They can't create, and they know it. So all they can do is twist. So I don't even think that they can just come up with a lie out of the blue. They have to take something that someone else said and then twist it. The darkness is always twisting. The darkness is always calling good bad and calling bad good. So that's why they lie so much. They lie because they can't handle the truth. They can't handle the reality of how wicked they are. They can't handle the reality that nobody can stand to be around them. They torture their family and obsess over their family because their family is stuck with them. But most people walk away from a narcissist. If you notice, you look at if your mom's crazy, your dad's crazy, they don't have friends. Most normal people will just walk away from the narcissist, and they have to start over, and they keep starting over and keep starting over. But their family, those poor kids, they get stuck, and they're raised to tolerate this forever. That's why it's so important for you to get your the grandkids away from the crazy grandma narcissist, because she's going to start all over. It doesn't end with you. It goes to your kids. And if you think she's not poisoning your kids against you, you're very wrong. I'll make another video on narcissistic granny and how she loves to talk bad about you and cut you down in front of your kids, and it's all in secret. So she's super mad at you and you don't even know it. She's talking bad about you. You could think you guys are fine, and you're not. You have no idea the kind of stuff that they just come up with. Well, they don't come up with it. They twist. They just twist everything. But my friends out there, and my brothers and sisters in Christ, don't take it personally. Okay? Don't take it personally. Because if you take it personally, you're going to get bitter. You're going to get angry. You're going to be like, why is my mom so evil? And you're going to be wanting her to feel what you feel so that she can feel remorse. Usually people automatically say, like, they're still wishing, wishing that they learn their lesson. If you're wishing somebody learns their lesson, not good. It's not good. And they're never going to feel sorry for what they did. So stop waiting for an apology. You're not going to get an apology. And you don't need their apology. Just accept the situation for what it is. Are you going to be mad at a rattlesnake? The rattlesnake bit you. You're going to be mad at a rattlesnake? Like, that's what rattlesnakes do. But you can be aware. Like, are you hanging out where rattlesnakes hang out? Are you inviting a rattlesnake into your home? Are you letting a rattlesnake into your children's room? Like, rattlesnakes do what rattlesnakes do. Scorpions do what scorpions do. They can't help it. And so your job as parent is not to trash granny, or anything like that. You have to protect your kids, and you can do it in a way that is nice and light and just kind of non-emotional. But before you can do that, you need to get good. So feel free to bounce around my channel, see if anything else looks interesting to you. I highly recommend you get good with God. I highly recommend you pray and you ask God if you're having a really hard time forgiving. You need to forgive so that you can break through. You need to accept people for how they are, and accepting them does not mean tolerating and staying in that wicked cycle of abuse. I'm not saying that. I firmly 100% believe in no contact. So no contact works great. And I'll do another video on no contact and what the narcissist will do to kind of lure you back in. Don't fall for it. I'm going to help you. I'm gonna tell you everything that I know so that you don't get lured back in, and that hopefully you feel strong. And the best way to get like your strength back, your emotional strength back, is to not feel overwhelmed, and it's to stop trying to fix misunderstandings. Because once you realize that they're not misunderstandings, then you can stop, trying so hard to make them understand and make them see your point of view. It's just wasting your energy and stealing your joy and stealing your life. Like, go spend that time with your kids. Okay, your mom's kind of kooky and she's weird, and your brother's a brat and he's a 45-year-old guy living at home. That's terrible, but don't let obsession creep in. Don't get obsessed over them. And just let them do their own thing, and you focus on something positive. But you need to build up your armor so that they can't keep thrashing you. So that's my hope for tonight. I hope that you can see that they are lying, and the reason the lies are so hurtful is because it's half-truth. It's twisting, and they very easily call something bad good and something good bad, and that's very hurtful when you do something with kindness and love in your heart and someone accuses you of having bad intentions. That's very hurtful, but that opens the door wide open for bitterness, anger, self-pity, depression, wishing harm, or wishing them to learn their lesson is a softer version of wishing them harm. So just kind of let that stuff go. And I highly recommend, as always, that you kneel down and get close to God, get back on track with Him, or keep getting, close to Him. And if you don't know Him, get to know our Lord Jesus Christ. He is so kind, and He is listening to everything, and He sees everything that you're going through, and He doesn't want you to suffer. And you don't have to suffer. You can't suffer. A narcissist cannot make you suffer unless you give them the authority and the control over your life and your emotions to suffer. So if you're suffering, it's because you're allowing it to happen. So I hope that this video helps open up your eyes so you can get your power back and get your strength back and go spend your energy and your time on something positive. All right, you guys have a good night, and if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. Good night.